Hey everyone, welcome on into a Vigil walkthrough guide that we are going to be doing today. Now we have covered a previous Vigil guide on the channel for the 2020 edition, and this is going to cover all of the basics that you need to know, including the pure information and the details and stats that you will need to get going with Vigil. Now this video will be slightly different as we did do it on stream, walking you through everything you need to know about Vigil. And the difference here is that we are going to be very briefly covering the basics, but then diving into some more context situations for Siege and explaining my thoughts behind the process. If you're looking for something a little bit more in depth to actually apply the knowledge that you've learnt in the previous guide to the in-game situations, this is going to help you out. If you would like to see more content like this, feel free to drop a like on the video, and I hope you all enjoy. So for Vigil's loadout, he is going to be offering you a K1A, the Boss G classic weapon, the C75 auto, or the SMG12. Now there are two options that you can run with this. If you struggle to control the recoil, or you quite frankly prefer a little bit less recoil, C75 auto, a fantastic weapon. If you can control the recoil, I would recommend you to bring this SMG12 purely because of the high fire rate, the damage that it can deal. If you are putting it off because of the recoil, I'd recommend hopping into T-Hunt, trying to learn it, and just making sure that you're getting that recoil locked down, because it's going to pay off in the long run. The Boss G, I wouldn't recommend you to use it if we're looking at it competitively. The K1A is a fantastic weapon, especially with an angled grip here. Gadgets, bulletproof camera, impact grenade. I'd recommend the impact grenade. Fantastic for roaming, opening up rotations when you are going to be roaming. If you need to rotate out, opening the hatch, getting a new angle on the enemy, that type of stuff. When it comes to the bulletproof camera, if you look at it and how Vigil's going to be playing, impact grenade is the go-to. So for Vigil's ability in the prep phase, what I'd highly recommend you to do, Vigil doesn't have too much to do in the prep phase. He's got 2 reinforcements, 2 impact grenades, and an ability. Now, get your 2 reinforcements down. I'm going to reinforce bedroom hallway, the main 2 here. He doesn't have a lot to do, as well with the impact grenades. No, you don't want to be using them in the prep phase as well. I'll explain that in a second. But for the prep phase, Vigil is all about intel denial. So for the prep phase, what I'd recommend you to do is quite frankly cover common entry points, or, you know, contested points where the drones are most likely going to be coming through. Whether it is up central stairs here, coming into bedroom, through the drone hole here, wherever really. As long as you're patrolling the site in the prep phase, quite frankly, having your ability on, shooting out all the drones, it doesn't matter if you don't get all of them, you haven't got too much to do in the prep phase. Now, obviously, you've got your impact grenades. Now, it comes down to rotations. If you're going to be making a rotation, I wouldn't recommend doing it with Vigil with your impact grenades. These impact grenades are so damn valuable to you. Don't be wasting them for a rotation in the prep phase. It might be hard when you solo queue because teammates aren't always going to be able to open up a rotation for you in the correct position. But if you realise the advantage that you're going to be having when you take these impact grenades, save them for the roaming aspect of Vigil. Quite frankly, I don't think you'll ever look back. It's going to be hard when solo queuing, but try and communicate, try and get one of them to put something down, because having an impact grenade in the action phase is going to help a hell of a lot. Touching on the impact grenades, what I would recommend is using them for rotates out. If you find yourself, you're getting compromised, whether you've been droned out. For example, if I'm trying to hold down a CCTV, if an enemy is going to be pushing from garage, we'll just give an out of context example here. If I've been droned out, and the drone is going to be very close to me here, and realistically, if that drone is quite close, they're going to see me that I'm cloaked, so they're going to know that I'm going to be holding a CCTV here. I'd recommend shooting that drone out, rotating here. This might not be the most efficient rotate, you can go around here. This is just an out of context example. You come through here, you can rotate all the way back here and just get out of that position. Whether you decide to come through here again and make your way through here, and then you can rotate around there. Whatever it is, if the drones, if you've been droned out, you feel like you're going to get compromised, you'll know in your head when you want to move. Shoot the drone out, rotate away, and move to a new position. Your life as a roamer is so valuable. It's not really worth risking it and actually staying in the position when all you're realistically going to be doing is either getting picked off. Now, just to expand on the little section for the impact grenades, if you're holding barrels, if somebody's going pushed in through here, you're trying to hold them down on barrels. What you can do is, if you're peeking from here, they manage to get a shot on you, you back out the gunfight, smart decision. You can actually come here, this is why you need to save your impact grenades, don't use them in the prep phase. Open that up very quickly in one motion, get a shot on there, wherever they are, and surprise them essentially. Moving on to Vigil's ability, obviously he has got the ERC-7, I believe it's called. Now what this is going to do is cloak you from a drone. So if a drone was to come up to you here, they wouldn't really be able to see you, they would get white bars on their screen. If they're really close to you, they'll see like an outline of your character. If they're far away, they'll only get the white grey bars that are currently on my screen myself. I would recommend activating your ability with Vigil quite a lot. You don't want to be doing it every single time because obviously if an enemy is going to be droning quite close to you, they're going to be getting that notification, the white and grey bars that are currently on my screen that are going to pop up and essentially let them know that there's a Vigil roaming, lurking in the area. But the advantage of activating that ability frequently is you can get an actual pop-up on your screen. To the right of my screen, if there was a drone nearby me, it would say drone deceived. I would get 2 points for that. And that is a little bit of intel that can let me know that the drone is nearby, I'm getting droned out, I can rotate away if I need to. Activating it every now and then, even when you might not need to, is gonna allow you to gain that little bit of intel that could be useful to, you know, gain an advantage over your enemy. Now, referring back onto that point about the drones, if a drone was to be all the way over here, for example, if a drone was there, if I activate my ability, the drone is gonna see these grey and white bars from a distance. The grey and white bars are gonna be small if a drone is really far away. If the drone is close to me, on the other hand, these white and grey bars are going to be really high. As soon as I activate my ability, if you look at that, look at how high they go. That's what it's going to be like for an enemy player on their drone if they're really close to me. Now, an actual trick that you can pull off with Vigil is, if you didn't already know this, when Vigil has vertical height on a drone, if he's a little bit above that drone by a decent distance, to be fair, the drone is no longer going to get those white and grey bars that I did mention, which essentially is going to make him invisible, which is a great trick that you can pull off, especially if I'm going to do a spot like this. If I'm going to be holding logistics here, what you can do as Vigil is come up onto here. There we go. Now, when you stand on this white little dispenser that I'm on, that is going to make you invisible. If a drone was to come past here, and I activated my ability so he couldn't see me, the drone is no longer going to get those white and grey bars anymore. I'm essentially going to be invisible to that drone. If a drone was to drop the hatch, drone out here, invisible again. The only time I'd be able to be seen is if an actual attacker was to come through. Drone's completely invisible. And then there are actually 2 more Vigil spots that you can pull off of the vertical play. Now, if we take a look over here, if we come over here and go onto this spot, now for this one, all you have to do is come up to the ledge here, and you have to vault over it on a diagonal. When you hit that diagonal, you can land on here. Now this spot, if a drone was to come past anywhere here, again, a vertical Vigil spot, the white and grey bars that are on my screen right now are going to be invisible to that attacker when you activate your ability. If they're coming through barrels making a push, which is a common push, or there, or over here, if they're droning out that area, they're not going to be able to see you. Honestly, this one is such a fantastic spot as well. Another one that you can also pull off, not as effective, just to get like a gist of the height that you have to be at. Kind of that arcade machine and that little arcade machine as well. Now, another little trick for Vigil as well is that if a lion was to go ahead and activate his ability, all you have to do is activate your ability before that scanner goes off, before is important. You can deceive the ability and you won't get pinged. If a Thatcher EMP was to obviously hit you in the radius, you're not going to be able to activate your ability. It's going to be disabled for a few seconds, and you won't be able to activate it at all. Now, as well for Vigil's ability, if you are going to be roaming on one floor, if you activate your ability here, and they're going to be droning out either below right here. If we take a map like Cafe, for example, 3 floors. If you're on the middle floor, you're activating your ability. If a drone is either on the top, within a reachable distance of you, or the drone is on the bottom, those white and grey bars are going to pop up on the attacker's screen when droning. So that is really going to throw them off. Like, if you're roaming on the middle floor, you activate your ability, that is going to show up for them on their drone. You could either be on their floor, middle floor, or top floor. That is 3 floors, which is why Vigil is such an evasive defender. Hard to track down, and that is extremely useful just to, you know, have in your game and activate it and to throw the enemy off. Now as well, Vigil can also anchor. Might not be his preferred role, it's not a common play, not his desired role, but Vigil can definitely also anchor. Now the reason why he's a good anchor is there's 2 main reasons, I'd say. One being his loadout, fantastic SMG, and he's also got his AR. Now this AR is incredible, a fantastic weapon to have in the game, and the SMG as well, but his ability is all about intel denial. If you think to yourself, what's one of the biggest weaknesses of an anchor? That is going to be them getting droned out, intel being revealed to their team, and them getting flushed out because of that. Vigil completely blocks that off. If you are going to be, actually, you know, trying to hold down here with Vigil, you can very easily activate your ability, and that is quite frankly going to deny any drones coming into sight. So you can anchor quite well with Vigil, not his preferred role, but it does work. Now, an example, an in-game context example, if you're going to be playing on lockers here, you can hold server with Vigil very easily. Obviously, coming up dirt is a very common push point, as well as taking control of blue. What you can do as Vigil, and essentially using his ability to the max here really, is activating your ability frequently, because you're going to get droned out quite a lot here. When they're coming to drone you out is what I'd recommend. And you don't always necessarily have to peek here. Getting a kill is great, don't get me wrong, but wasting their time and not peeking and not dying, not letting them have the map control, is going to be 10 times more valuable than getting picked off. Activating your ability, whether you peek from here, you go for a peek here, try not to die, activate the ability, play the time. Now you might get pushed from blue, so either you have a teammate, whether it's a pulse, a smoke is also great for holding blue here, or you yourself could hold blue again. A great little push to hold. Activating this ability is going to make it so hard for the attackers to push in from dirt, get control of server, take the wall here into sight. If you can hold down server with Vigil, which his ability is a prime kit for, you can very easily, you know, waste time, let the attackers play into your hands essentially.
And that is going to be it for today's Vigil walkthrough that we did cover in today's video. If this video did help you out with Vigil, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe for more tips and tricks like this. If you want to learn a little more about Siege, or if you do have any questions that you do want to ask me, I'm always on Twitch on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, and I'm happy to answer them there. Let me know who your favourite roamer is in Siege, whether it is Vigil or not, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.